Damn, welcome to episode 3, my fine listeners. I am Muhil Vasikran, but I go by Moo.
I am Michael McGarahan.
I am Brendan Mascherino.
This is Cam Crawford.
And we got 2 special guests this week. One may say one is the orphan from Meet the Robinsons, and the other is a legend himself. May you guys introduce yourselves.
Hey, my name's Joe Martino.
I'm Andrew Henrishon, but a lot of people call me Teet.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks for
seriously,
coming on.
thank you.
Thanks for
We
having us.
appreciate you guys coming on so much.
Yeah,
seriously.
All right, so the first topic, I had some PTSD the other day because I was just thinking about a horrific moment from my childhood. So we're going to be talking about anything from a movie or an experience from our childhood that really scared us for a long time. So Mike and I have this same experience, actually. It's 9th grade, freshman year. I don't want to talk about it, but
Be brave.
Basically, we're sitting in
Name and address withheld.
classroom, biology classroom.
yes, and she plays a film. This film has a horrific beast in it. It's a CG monster, and they call it Tic-Tac.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Lord,
Yes.
I've never been more shook.
Care to
I'm
explain,
serious.
boys? For those of us
So-
who are
From an
Uninformed.
outsider standpoint, I understand that Tic-Tac is a really old creature that kind of evolved from, what is it, like a shark of
It's
some sort?
essentially a human
It's
fish.
It's a human fish,
It's
yeah.
essentially a killing
no.
machine.
It kind of looks like a shark. It's really scary looking.
It's horrifying to say the least.
That's terrifying.
Like, I had nightmares about this for at least 2 weeks. I'd piss my pants between every period. Because that shit was horrifying, to say the least.
what scared you boys about this the most?
Everything.
yeah,
I'll
what
put a
didn't? Like,
picture
it's just-
on this little section, a Tic-Tac image. So I should give a warning for children right now.
Oh, there needs to be a warning.
because this thing is horrifying.
It will haunt you.
Anyways, now let's talk about real horrific experiences. So who'd like to go first?
I mean, I could. Cam, you take this one. Cam, take it.
What I really was gonna say was Joe Martino. Why don't we hear what you have to say?
Oh my.
Wow. Okay.
Alright.
Come on
So
now.
whatever scared me? Alright. I remember when I was young, I was watching TV, and I was just flipping through some channels, and
Love TV.
there's a show called 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh.
And I didn't, that was, my little mind was like, this is some real shit. Like, this is some scary stuff, too. And
Yeah.
saw some guys, like, head, like, explode, and it effed me up, man. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't cool, and I was too little to understand that it was a TV show. That freaked me
Yeah.
out for a while.
That's rough
Actually,
stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I feared, like from watching that TV show.
Yeah.
They had like parasites.
Oh,
and
I
stuff
know.
like that.
Yeah.
That freaks me out.
Yeah.
Like even now, from like a kid, I was like 5. That
Yeah,
show
right.
Watching
was
that
on.
show now, it looks
And
so
it's
it's so fake. Everything.
Wait, now
about
it's
it's
pretty
just
funny.
so bad.
Dude, as a kid, it was like
Yeah.
those parasites and
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Like,
understand.
that was like freaky. Freaked me out. Still freaks me out.
One thing that recently actually has come into play that's a really big fear for me are these stupid like lantern bugs. Those spotted lantern bugs that keep flying around. I'd be just chilling at like practice and all of a sudden there's one of these bugs just lands on my shirt. I look down, it's looking straight at me. I freak the hell out
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah,
It's
something.
But like the thing is, when you try to step on it, it jumps.
It does.
Yeah.
We experienced that
Jumps
twice
away.
today. Yeah,
Because
they
I try to
just
step
they
on them
jump.
and they just like
yeah.
go away, and it's insane, man.
I remember at the age little Moo was 6 years old, I think, maybe 5. And nowadays it's comedic, but at the time, Chucky the Evil Doll was the biggest bitch I've ever seen. That shit was so horrifying. The little bloody cracks on its face. Oh my god, it kept me up for so many nights.
I'm still scared of that
There
today. I'm
there is
sorry.
a
I am.
car located in Downingtown. If you come
No,
up
no, no, no,
if you
no.
come up
No, don't. That's so bad. I just keep whatever. Just keep.
if you
just
come
continue.
up if you come up Church Street,
Oh my gosh.
it was like
Please
it's
stop,
like 11
Please.
o'clock at night.
Just say
Oh
Michael
my
and I are
gosh,
coming home
stop.
from like making a Wawa run or something. All of a sudden we look, dude, the back of the car has this Chucky doll. I swear to God,
that's
it scared
terrifying.
the living crap out of both of us. It was
Yeah.
so horrible.
Chucky,
That was
oh
not
my
good.
gosh, that shit was too scary. But nowadays I watch the movies and I turned out they
Right.
were comedies, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
damn, I was scared for nothing.
I'm gonna take it away. So, as a little blue, there was one thing I was pretty scared of, and I would say that's the fear of death. Which I mean, that's pretty. That's
yeah.
everyone.
I mean-
Like I said, like, but like when you're a little baby boy and you think, wow, it's gonna come to a point where none of us are here and no one's gonna remember us. Like that messed me up. But then more in recent times, when I was a little lad, the movie Friday the 13th, that man's
Yo.
Jason, even though it's such a silly character, like it doesn't even, it's so fake, but man, that scared me. And then this is not really something super scary, but something that was kind of sketch. It was actually with some of the boys here after we were filming. Well, I wasn't really doing the filming, I was more acting, lead actor, number one.
Mike.
We were doing a short film, and we came back to Mike's house for a sleepover that night, and we gotta get a late night diner on. So it was 4 a.m. or whatever. We were walking the diner, and man, it was some sketchy stuff. I'm talking.
Blood.
As soon as we walked past the light went out
Oh yeah.
every
light.
time.
Every light. Yeah.
That's not normal. That's not supposed to happen. And I don't know. It was kind of sketch. Some wind chimes just started going off as we passed them, and it's 4 a.m. so your boys
Yeah,
were a
really.
little tired, but you know how it is.
Yeah. Mind if I share now?
Oh, go for it.
Oh yeah. So this may make me seem like a wuss kind of, but
No, we already
basically.
think that of you. JK.
Listen. No. Well, basically, I'm very fond of Star Wars. I really like it. I really like the, especially like the original trilogy. But then
course.
you got the next three. Okay.
Oh shit.
And listen. Okay. I was young. Like I had never seen Star Wars before. I don't know how old I was, but I remember my parents always talking about it. And they introduced me, and I eventually watched A New Hope. That was the first one. First one I saw.
Great
Great
movie.
one. I saw that, and then I wasn't too scared by it. I remember I was originally scared to watch them. But then my mom or dad was like, they were like, hey, do you want to watch, like I think I watched like 1 and 2, and like, hey, do you want to watch Revenge of the Sith one night? And I remember I had heard about it, only heard of stories of it just being like really crazy, and just hearing about the death involved with it. And I remember I one night I owned up to it, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. And the ending scene just between Obi-Wan and Anakin for some reason just shook me so bad with
The higher ground?
The higher ground.
How the hell?
I don't know why.
What?
I'm not just the fact that like with Anakin then being like built into Darth Vader at the end, and like him in the lava and stuff. Dude,
No,
when I was young,
that's
it just
really
scared the
rough.
crap out of me.
You know?
I couldn't. I remember I've never felt this feeling ever since. But I went to bed and I just felt so like trapped and encased like in just his mind and like in that
Nowadays we know
story.
you can go to bed
And
quite
yeah.
fast while watching movies, buddy.
But I couldn't. I remember I would have like legit nightmares about it. But for some reason, that was at a young age that hit me really hard, and it wasn't even that scary. But like at a young age, I was just like,
Yeah, you're young.
I was so scared to even watch the movie, and then when I got to that scene and I actually witnessed it, I
I
was like,
still
oh my
get
gosh.
nightmares of Jar Jar Binks. That shit was
What? That character's
Jar Jar.
pointless.
All right.
No, Mike, I actually feel you because it's actually a really sad scene. The aftermath.
It
when
is,
he just,
man.
You can see him become evil, and there's kind of like
And then
the
Padme
love
did
plot
and
there.
stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
I
kinda-
hate those
it's got me in my
It
bag.
really had. Yeah, I don't know. It just hit me hard. I didn't know what to do.
Speaking of movies, sometimes when you get cold in the movie theaters, you need something to warm you up.
That is true.
Sweatshirts.
Oh, that's another scary
I
topic.
love
if
some
I say so.
sweatshirts.
Oh my god. All right, so there's this thing. I don't know if it's just high school or middle school or if this just transcends time, but I don't understand it. I'd love to be enlightened by an explanation, but I find it kind of cheese and stupid when a boyfriend gives his girlfriend a sweatshirt. I don't get it. Is it cute because it's baggy?
Not even like just someone's girlfriend. Like, girls will just like ask for your sweatshirt. Like,
Yeah.
That's true.
Me,
Yeah.
me and Joe, we have a buddy who gave this girl a sweatshirt, and she had it for months, like forever. And we had to go over to her house and actually ask
To get
for
it
it back,
back?
Yeah,
Wow.
dude.
because he texted her, and like she would just like refuse to give it back. She would
Yeah.
make up like bullshit excuses, being like, "Oh, I need to wash it. I can't give it to you right now," or whatever. Like I'm
Did
sick
you-
or whatever. And it
I feel
finally
like
got it back. It was
Did
I
you
feel like
successful.
check that sweatshirt for HIV by any chance?
Oh
I
my-
was like, well, I gotta wash it.
Yeah, why you gotta wash it so much?
so many topics that we touched relate back to the whole ego aspect, because I feel like a lot of girls like wearing the sweatshirts just for like how people see them, like, oh, she's got a boyfriend, or vice versa if you're into that.
Yeah, she's wearing a dude sweatshirt. Oh, she must have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Just wearing a dude sweatshirt. Oh, you're cool.
That's
Get-
what-
Also, I feel like that kind of brings up the thing that Teet was talking about. Well, not per se, but what happens when they break up, or if they break up? That's just the whole thing you don't really want to deal with. 'cause
Yeah.
What a
it's
tragic
awkward.
moment to have to
The
send back
return.
your sweatshirt.
Yeah. Hit them with that like
I mean, you
Snapchat,
might not
yo.
even get back the sweatshirt.
Oh, I would
True.
That's
just
the
You
thing,
could burn
because
it.
some people just like
Which, I mean, you're kind of
honestly,
savage.
they will. They'll just like burn it, or they'll give it back, and they'll like. I've heard like people have like sprayed perfume and stuff all over it, so it like smells nice and reminds them of them.
Andrew,
like,
you've
that's
heard
kinda
many
weird.
horror stories about
Manipulation.
sweatshirts.
He
It's
seems to know a
insane.
lot about giving girls sweat.
What can I say?
T, be
What can I say?
honest. Have you given a girl your sweatshirt?
I actually haven't.
Have you given her your leather jacket?
Oh no.
Oh,
maybe.
Oh, jacket.
T.
Might have.
Maybe.
Might have.
Okay.
Who here has given a girl their sweatshirt?
Well, I mean,
Joe.
yeah.
Joe.
Low key.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'll confess. Not gonna lie.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I haven't just given a girl my sweatshirt.
Until
A guy took my sweatshirt.
listen, we can't.
Listen,
This is
listen.
not something we can talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
A man by the name of Michael McGarrahan. One day took place in 8th grade.
I'll tell you.
8th grade. No. 8th grade. We both ran track for the middle school. We got sweatshirts with our last names on the back of them.
Oh God.
McGarrahan and Mascherino. They kind of look similar. M-A. Yeah, you got it. Well, Michael thought it'd be cool to wear my sweatshirt.
That's not
one
true.
day.
Here's the deal.
The whole
Here-
day at school.
oh no.
Here's the deal. I think I don't know who it was. Someone eventually notified
I
me.
did.
It
I
was-
noticed
no,
you.
It was either you
I noticed
or
you.
someone, but like basically I had always pondered the idea like, wow, our names look pretty similar. I could easily take it. And then I had a nightmare about the whole thing occurring. The nightmare of the whole day going through where like I wore it the whole day, didn't realize, and then I was humiliated. I had a nightmare about that. Legit, it was a dream. I had a dream.
And then it
Then
all
a month
happened.
later, it literally takes place in real life, and I
Right.
could not understand. I
I'm
was like,
wondering,
this is
was
crazy.
this intentional or by accident?
No, I think
I think it was on
st-
purpose.
He left it here.
Sounds
Yeah,
intentional.
yeah.
I had lost mine. I lost mine, and I didn't know where it was. It was maybe under my bed or something like that. And I see Brendan's. I must have. If say Brendan left it in my house, maybe I grabbed it off the couch, hung it up in my room. So in the morning, I get it, put it on. I'm tired. I don't see anything. I don't see the text. I don't know. I couldn't read. And then the next thing you know, I just go through the rest of the day. Like I can't see my own back. Like I don't know. And then someone breaks
No-
the news and
No
trauma.
one. This is the funniest part.
Traumatized.
He goes the whole day through the school, in the hallways full of how many kids, and not one person had the balls to tell him that my name was on a sweatshirt.
Personally,
That's that 8th grade.
some of those who know me know that I wouldn't say I'm a trash digger, but you know,
What?
I don't know.
Wait,
if
hold
that's
up.
a great-
What?
Let me restart. Some of those who know me know that I like to shop at Goodwill, and sometimes the lost and found. So I kind of wear a lot
Oh my
of,
god.
you know, ratty stuff sometimes. I don't really care that much about my sweatshirts or whatever. So a few times over the past couple years, I've been walking around school just wearing random kids' sweatshirts, and like it says their name on it.
Nice.
But I wore them for months straight. In fact, right now,
He
Cheerleading
wore a
jacket.
cheerleading jacket with
Oh
his
my
name.
god.
Well-
it's like 4 sizes too small.
no, I have a cheerleading jacket in my car right now. And I'm not even cheerlead at the only bad part is when you're wearing someone's jacket and then you pass them and they just stare at you.
Oh my god.
That's the worst. Like one time I was wearing this kid's jacket and like I know who he is and like maybe he knows who I am, but it's one of those things where you don't really talk to them. And I was wearing his jacket and I go to Acme and of course he's working there. So I walk by and he's just staring at me. So I'm like, I'm really sorry, mate. But
I'm sorry, man.
then he boy just kind of dipped. End of story.
That's a great one.
That's a great way to transition to Croft. Would you like to introduce this album?
Oh yeah, so last week for our listeners, I recommended the album Zenyatta Mondatta by The Police, their third album. So for those who listen, which I'm hoping is most of you or all of you, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the music.
All right. So can I go ahead
Yeah, go ahead, T.
and talk? I thought it was a pretty good album.
Oh,
But
pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you.
You know, the bass lines were very good.
I agree.
in some of them. I love the bass lines.
Yeah,
They were
they're
great.
They're definitely catchy, really good. Yeah.
I only had there was one issue with it, and it was in the song "Driven to Tears."
That's a great
That
song.
That's my favorite.
solo, that guitar solo, what was that? It sounded like someone didn't know how to play guitar.
Excuse me?
Honestly, have you heard the solo?
Oh,
I did.
have I
I
heard
did.
the solo?
Have you heard it?
You're really gonna rip on Andy Summers right now.
Yes, his solo, it didn't go with the song.
Really?
I don't think it went with the
Yeah,
song.
I actually. Okay, so I like the solo itself, but in the place of that song, I'm not sure. It's a bold move, but I don't know if it
Yes.
fits.
Yeah,
I
it
like the
fits.
solo. I do like it, but in that song, I don't know. I don't know.
I loved it. That was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Uh,
So I'm not very musically inclined, technically speaking, but
It
I
doesn't
know
take
when
a
I
music-
like.
It doesn't take
song.
someone
So
musically inclined.
few of the thoughts. There's a lot of energy to the album. That was a big plus.
True.
Very
Yeah,
energetic.
definitely.
And there was some good. The track listing, the order they put it in was perfect. They interrupted some of the pacing with some nice slower songs. It all flowed very well to me. Some of my very few qualms or issues per se. Some of the endings, some of those fade outs were kind of
Yeah.
weak. Some of those were a bit lazy. Then some of the vocals were overwhelming, cuh. That shit
Yeah.
was so high sometimes. I'm like, chill.
I mean, but to be honest, that's his vocal style.
Yeah.
Like, have you heard like Roxanne? That's high.
That's true.
It's very high. That's just his vocal style.
Sting is, unique. He's a good
Yeah, he
guy.
is.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Joe has to say.
well, you're not gonna like this, but I thought it was an alright album. It was
Oh.
alright. Like,
Oh, you did?
I've just it was extremely repetitive. Like extremely. Like one song I listened to, I think it was "Man in a Suitcase." Just the whole time it was the same guitar, like over and over.
What? That's my favorite song in the entire album.
I
But
do
for like
agree
it does
with
that for like
that,
3
Joe.
minutes straight.
Yeah, so
it's like,
me and T
wanna
were
change
talking.
it,
There's
yeah.
a song Behind the Camel. It's just instrumental.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's when you think it
Yeah.
is, but that one's just instrumental. Behind the Camel, but or
Also
Behind
the
My
one.
Camel, excuse me. And it is like very repetitive, but I think me and T were saying we like it a lot just
Yeah.
because it's different and has a really neat. I thought the chord progression's really neat, but it definitely is repetitive. But I think it's a cool shift in that album and neat placement. But yeah, I personally I didn't find it too bad. It was repetitive, but I don't know. I get that. I get that what you're saying, Joe.
I definitely agree with that. I think it was great for like an instrumental.
Yeah.
It
It was
definitely
different. It
repetitive,
was good. Yeah.
but it was like pretty chill, and it was just it was good overall.
Yeah.
Brendan, I want to hear what you have to say.
So the first song on the album that's "Don't Stand So Close to Me," right? I feel like that's a classic that most people know as who the Police are.
Yeah.
And then
standard.
going through all the different songs in the same album was kind of interesting to see how different they sound through all the different types of songs, and what kind of like textures in their music that they touch. It was pretty interesting to me how they change styles.
Yeah, so I know you guys, a big thing was the repetitiveness, and I do agree, like, it's a bit much sometimes, but to be honest, I think the police may have done that on purpose because it is very repetitive, but it just kind of sits there when you're listening to it, in the sense that it's not particularly going anywhere. It's just kind of there and in the moment, and you're just kind of absorbing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not rushing to get somewhere.
I'd like to hear everyone's favorite track in the list. Let's go around, starting with Croft.
So many good songs, but... And my preferences always change, but as of right now, Man in a Suitcase is a cool one. Moohill?
Oh, Man in a Suitcase as well. That's my favorite one in the album.
I like The Other Way of Stopping.
Hmm,
Had a good bass line. I thought it was like the best song on the album.
sweet.
Well, if I had to choose a song from this album, maybe Canary in a Coal Mine.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, I'd choose that one.
Yeah, I actually do. I just want to say one thing real quick about the general. Not gonna be too long, but
No, go for it.
I found myself really, really liking the verses in the songs a lot. I love the verses, and I just didn't find the choruses in the songs to be as strong. I found myself wanting to go back to the verse, after the chorus. Like I found myself almost like really digging it.
Yeah,
Like
no.
I think I'm drawing a blank here, but there's and like Don't Stand So Close to Me. I think I really like the verse in that one.
Yeah.
I didn't think that
Exactly.
the verse is so good,
Yeah.
and then I just when it gets into like the chorus, I was kind of like, oh, like I guess that's kind of cool and groovy, but I was like, I really liked what was going on before that, and like, but yeah, that's my opinion. But I do like that song though. But definitely parts or I like a lot more than others, but I applaud those parts that are
I definitely
really good.
Sorry,
Verse.
Brendan, go ahead. Then I'll add
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. I guess kind of agreeing and disagreeing with Michael. I like the song "Don't Stand So Close to Me" because that's just what I was used to, like listening to the Police and stuff.
Yeah.
I listen to that song a lot, and I like that style of how they did that song.
Yeah, for sure.
Listening to the other songs, it felt kind of weird that that's the same band to me. I don't know, just because I didn't listen to them as much. But yeah, I think that was my overall favorite song on the album.
Kind of to go along with what Mike was saying, one of the things that stands out to me with this album is the lyrics, because they're so unorthodox from other groups or styles at this
Yeah.
time. Like the opening song, Don't Stand So Close to Me. If you listen closely, it's about a teacher and a student and a possible budding relationship there, but obviously that's not allowed. So, but I mean, what other songs have you heard about that? It's just so unique. And then Man in a Suitcase is about a dude who wants a relationship, but he's just working nonstop and going ham, so he can't. He's living out of a suitcase.
Yeah, actually, there's this song called "Hot for Teacher," and it like, talks. No, I'm just kidding. No, I understand. I'm just kidding. I understand what you're saying,
Van
Cam. I'm
Halen.
just kidding.
So you're gonna
Speaking
fall asleep
of,
during the next album.
I'm good. It's okay. I just looked over.
Sorry.
I was surprised. That's all.
Cam.
for
please
our
finish.
Maybe I gotta
listeners, he is right now in the nude.
No, I'm I'm not nude. I'm sure.
I was looking over at Brendan, and then I looked over at Cam, and he didn't have a shirt on. I had no idea that he took it off.
I think it's fine.
On the topic of homos, we can go on. What? Oh, wrong podcast. But let's talk about
What?
let's talk about a movie that I particularly enjoy. I very much like it actually. Moonlight from 2016, Oscar-winning Moonlight. I'd like to hear the thoughts of Brendan and Michael first because they just watched it.
Can I ask a quick question? Michael, did you actually stay up for this
I
one
did.
and watch?
I did
You
stay up.
Are
Yes.
you sure?
Yes, we started the yes, we started the film at approximately 10:59 p.m.
It's a wrap.
But
Yeah.
I'm serious. I did watch it. I did stay up for it. I was up.
Okay.
I was up for it.
I'm
I'm not gonna say that I was like there were at times where not because of the film, just my mind, like I was being
Exactly.
overtaken. But I did not
Sure.
like it wasn't as bad as like
Did you
as
have a
other
blanket
before.
down here?
Yep.
I
he
did. It was cold.
I thought
You
it was
always set
cold.
yourself up.
It was cold.
I thought you said last week that you wouldn't bring a
It was
blanket.
cold, I
set
know,
yourself
but-
up.
Listen, if you actually enjoyed the movie like I did, you know.
Bro, I never even gave an opinion. I didn't even give an opinion yet.
I don't care. At 11, at 11 o'clock, when we were starting the movie, Steven, Michael, and I were all sitting down there. Steven is a great friend of ours.
Crazy.
The opening song kicked in. Every N-word is a star.
They did laugh at that.
I thought
They
it was
did
pretty
laugh.
funny just because I didn't think that was an actual song, and I thought they were joking. But then I realized it's like a real song. But then there was a shot in the first like 5 minutes of the movie. This guy was like running behind the kid. It was like tracking him behind him, and it was all shaky. It was a
Shaky, yup.
great shot. I love all the colors in the movie, especially.
Yeah, I love the
Great.
opening. Sorry, but I love the opening shot. I really do
Yeah.
enjoy it. Just that tracking and through it. And I think it's a really neat way to
Not
follow
gonna
that
lie.
scene.
That's the one shot in the movie I don't like, the very
Really?
opening.
Wow.
Because I don't like it just going 360 like 100 times.
I don't like that part.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
actual
Yeah, but
build up
the-
to that
Gotcha.
was great,
Yes.
but just the 360 part was a bit like, really, Barry? Everything else is perfect.
Yeah, the
and then-
first
Yeah.
if it did it
Sure.
one time or maybe even super slow once through like during the dialogue, that'd be cool. But it was a little. I was feeling like whoa, like
Can
a
I
little dizzy.
Can I just say anamorphic, man?
So
Yes,
nice.
used very well in
God.
this. Yeah.
So nice.
So good. Let's
Acting.
Yeah, the act.
Oh, the
I was just about to
acting.
say.
Acting was
Acting
Yes.
was
Little. What is it? What is his name?
Chiron.
Chiron. His mother's acting.
Really.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
How did they
Fantastic.
go through to show that she was like unhealthy and stuff with the drugs?
Mhm.
How did
Makeup.
they show like that she like just lost all that weight over time? Like
And she was only on set for like 3 days, I think.
I have
It
no
seems
idea.
like Chili
Yeah.
could have
Because
That's
she was like
crazy.
going back and forth between Moonlight and Spectre. But
and at the end of the movie, she's got gray hair and the makeup. She's all skinny and old. Like
And you can just
That's
feel
amazing.
the anger towards her as a viewer.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
don't like her.
I know.
The scene
Like-
with sorry, really spoilers, but the scene with like Chiron and his mother when she's begging for the money, not even begging, but just like literally fighting, abusing
Yeah,
him for the
scene I
money.
was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
That really
That
hit
scene
me
was
hard.
really-
That was really good.
The
It
money-
was so believable with with her acting and the way he handled that. Like he decided to like act in that scene to
He's
show the
literally-
character. It was crazy.
He's literally like giving away his mother's life. Like
Yeah.
he's like, do you really
It's
want to
so
do this to me
sad.
right now?
and he
Just because of your addiction, you want me to give you money to buy more drugs?
Yeah.
Like that's like
And that's what I love about this movie. Sorry. It's so powerful, and it kind of touches on topics that some of us who live in suburban southeastern Pennsylvania don't really think about. I mean, this is so out there and out of our realm. It's just edgy and really shows us what life is like, not even in other parts of the world per se, but just in our country or even inner cities that are dangerous.
exactly.
So I think this movie is really special, and it really made me feel a lot of emotion, whether it was happiness, sadness, or discomfort.
At the beginning of the movie when I'm gonna just call him Little because that's
Yeah,
what
his
I
nickname.
that's what I remember him by. The eeriness of his mother when after he meets the guy, I don't know his name.
Mahershala Ali's character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Juan.
Once he meets Juan and he brings him back home, when the mother doesn't want him to go near him and just pulls him in the house, and you don't know what's going on because they don't really say that she's a drug addict yet or that she's like an abusive mother to him. They just kind of like push that aside and let you kind of like think about it, and then they reveal it at the end of the movie, obviously. But it's just pretty crazy.
Yeah. I was just really sad when the character Juan is no longer in Chiron's life because they had a really nice little bond throughout his childhood.
Father figure.
Yeah, father figure.
That was the thing in the movie that I didn't understand. Like, where did he go?
He
They
died.
didn't-
He died. He
Oh,
got shot.
really?
Yeah,
They didn't
remember
even-
the bullies
Wait,
are
really?
talking about like, yeah, when Juan died, and also Yeah, they reference it a few times. They
Yeah.
don't like.
Oh, I don't know.
flat
It's
out
hard to
say
pick
it.
I
up
didn't
on
even
that.
pick up on it.
Because you would think he
It's
would
like, what
still
happened
be in
then?
his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
He got shot.
Oh,
Drug related.
And then what was crazy to me is like, I didn't catch that he got shot. Throughout the movie I saw that Little started looking like him.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, I would agree.
I thought
Yeah.
they were like
And
the
the movie
same
got
character.
jacked.
He got jacked.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
I know.
And that's actually a great thing they did, have him like get jacked to hide his inner, like he has to appear tough in that environment.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool
Exactly.
touch.
Yeah.
Now Joe and Andrew, I want to hear what you guys saying. I think
All right, so I have two things that I want to talk about. The acting of just whoever played Chiron. You could see just like all how he is like when he's little, and then in the second part, just like all of his mannerisms and everything he does, like they're the same, and you can, like, it's believable. Like you think he's the same kid, just grown up.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of movies, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But even in part 3, you can tell,
Mm-hmm.
which because he's definitely different in part 3. He's big and tough,
Yeah.
but he still does some of those things.
Yeah.
So it's very believable. I also thought I like part 1 and part 2, but part 3, I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about it. Just because it was all right. It was kind of just.
I love
they
part
could've done
3.
better,
I wish they
in my
would have.
opinion.
In my opinion, I wish they would have backed up like the ending of the movie better. Like when he reassociates with that guy that he
Kevin.
kissed or whatever. Like Kevin, when he like cooks with him or something. I feel like they should have like put more background information on like what his life is like
Yeah,
then
true.
I was waiting for
instead
that.
of
I
just
don't.
kind of like.
I don't think we need that information, to be honest, because I feel like it's really good to just stick with Chiron and just keep the focus on Chiron.
Mhm.
But my little problem with the third act was they were dragging on the very end a little
It
too
drags
much.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely.
But why'd you say you like part 3, Moo?
I love
Why
part
is-
3 because I think it has the most powerful moments in the movie. That said, I think the most powerful moment in the movie was when he was in that like counselor's office or whatever in the second part,
Yeah.
and
that
just
was-
like you don't understand.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was the
That was
most powerful part.
special.
But third part, like them just talking in the diner, him seeing his mom at that
so
part is
sad.
just
That was
so
so
good.
sad.
And the fact
And
that
the
he's
very
just,
ending also.
My bad.
It's all good, buddy.
The fact that he's just a grown man and he still, says so few words, I think just kind of shows that he's still messed up from his childhood. Like, that was so traumatizing for him. I mean, as anyone would expect, but it's just so sad that it's going to affect him all the way up through adulthood. And I really just thought the movie was so beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Joe, what do you gotta say, man?
Nothing that's already been said. Part 3, I do feel like it was lacking a little, and the ending I wasn't really expecting it just to end so just
Abruptly.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
just abruptly. I was
yeah.
kind of waiting
I love
for
the ending.
a little bit more, but I mean, yeah.
I say we move on to the other 2016 movie, the winner of the Oscar for 5 minutes, La La Land. And if you know me, you know that I absolutely adore this film. This movie shocked me. It was one of the best movie-going experiences I've had in my life.
Yeah, but that soundtrack though.
Soundtrack
Yeah, the
is
soundtrack
amazing.
is amazing.
Oh.
There's no denying
It supports
that.
the film so
Cinema
much.
of
course.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
God
Oh
damn.
yes.
Yeah.
That
Really
land
nice. Oh,
is
yeah.
so, because this movie, unlike Moonlight, didn't have the constraints of being realistic, so they just went balls to the wall crazy with crazy like light
True.
changes in the middle
Oh,
of the
yeah.
scene.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
Beautiful volumetric lights.
Oh,
Mm.
volumetric
Oh, yeah.
light.
Volumetric
lighting.
Volume.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's so good. Anyway.
The opening.
Oh,
The opening one take with the what is it? The interstate.
Yeah.
Just amazing. Well
Oh
done.
yeah.
That was really
They also
fun.
hide the cuts pretty well, even though
Yeah.
the whip pan you
Yeah.
can tell
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
crazy, but don't
It's-
matter.
yeah,
It's
it doesn't matter.
The opening
yeah,
one
gorgeous.
take, yeah.
And yeah, that opening scene, I still remember sitting in theaters. I I live in Downingtown, and I went out all the way to King of Prussia to see this opening day.
I remember.
And I just sat in the theater, and no one was watching it at the time, so it's just me and like a few people in the front. And the lights go out, and the screen actually goes to the correct aspect ratio, the 255. Oh my God, when that opening scene happens and it just hits that boom, La La Land, I knew I was in for something else.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the movie because you said it was amazing. And I definitely wouldn't have seen it if you didn't think it was so good. And the first time I saw it, it was amazing. One scene that really just like stuck out to me is when they're fighting, and there's music playing, and right when he says like that one thing, the record
You're
it
an
just
actress.
cuts out, and it's like it was perfect.
The tension.
Honestly, it was fantastic. I loved how they did that.
Definitely.
So it's a great film. So
Yeah.
now, I think everything about, oh, actually, you know something that annoys me? A lot of people nowadays, to be hip and cool, are like, oh, La La Land, yeah, that's overrated. It's not that good. Backlash, big time backlash on this movie. But there's not much else to say about that other than people gotta just be true to what they felt about the movie. They don't want to have to be hip about what they thought. If you didn't like it genuinely, that's okay. But let's talk about that whole Oscar thing. What movie do you all feel truly deserved to win? Let's go around, starting with Brendan.
Well, not to be that guy, but you trying to go through the list real quick? Or are we just doing the two?
Just the two. I mean, if
my
we're going
bad.
through the list,
We'll
then
cut this puppy. Alright, never mind.
Yes, so between Moonlight and La La Land, after I saw La La Land multiple times, and after seeing Moonlight for only one time, it really like took my breath away, and I really like the composition of Moonlight and just the cinematography in that. I think overall tops La La Land in my opinion.
Michael.
Listen, all right, so this could be, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that I can't give a fair answer yet because I think they're not equal in opinion yet because I've seen La La Land like countless times, Moonlight once, so I feel like I just need to be able to I'd have to digest it a little bit more, or maybe if it would have been fair if I only seen La La Land once more, but I feel like it's not on a fair scale right now, but I mean, just based on like just what I've seen, like I have seen them both, so I really am gonna have to go with La La Land. I think that just hit me way harder, and just the visual style. I don't think I'd ever seen anything like that before. Like it's just like the fact that I feel like I really was intrigued in the fact that they could go away from that realistic style. They had to be really the realism and just really go and just stretch the limits. And I don't know. I just feel like I was really attracted to that story and yeah.
Emma Stone? No, I'm just
No.
No,
And-
only Elastigirl from Mike.
So yeah, I don't know. I found that just the whole aesthetic of that film and the way it looked. I found that to be a lot more. I thought it deserved it. I thought it was way better.
Yeah, Michael brings up a good point about. I also saw Moonlight just once, and I saw La La Land countless times. And like in Moonlight, I didn't realize Juan died until you guys just said that now.
Yeah.
So like if I saw
There's
it
stuff,
more,
yeah, you didn't
I might
catch,
like
yeah.
catch some more things, and I might appreciate it more. And the movies are also like so different.
Mm-hmm.
They're just so different than each other. But
I agree with that
Just-
a lot.
It almost
Yeah.
just comes down
It's hard
to
to compare,
like
you know?
yeah, it almost just comes down to like your own personal.
Your own
There's no
preference.
way to really compare.
Exactly,
It's just
yeah.
whatever you.
yeah, but if I had to choose, I would choose La La Land.
All right. So, while Moonlight is a great film, I have to go with La La Land just because, well, so I'm going to give some backstory. Before I saw this, I hated musicals. I never got into them, ever, and I would just never watch one. But after I watched this, it was great, and it was a musical I actually liked. So this, I just enjoyed it, and I thought it was amazing. So that's why I like it better.
So I'm a little different here because I've seen both of them over 3 times, and I gotta go with La La Land. I can't remember a time in the theaters where I was that blown away. I mean, I like how it visually looks better. Even though Moonlight is a beautiful looking movie, some of the focus pulling was a bit slow. I mean, that's a very minor issue to say the least, and it's a bit stretching. I also like the music much better than La La Land, though I do love the music in the scene where he's cooking up the meal for Chiron. I love that music, but music in La La Land overall was better, and music's very important. Acting in Moonlight's definitely better, but the thing was, I think La La Land's story felt more special to me. Moonlight was like, for me, it's not as easy to relate to, even though there's a lot of stuff there. I mean, I can't relate to that environment and all that, but La La Land I felt was a bit more universal in its messages. What else? I don't know. I just found La La Land more special, and I think that I like Damien Chazelle's direction in that movie better than Barry Jenkins, but that doesn't mean I think he's a better director, because If Beale Street Could Talk looks totally better than First Man.
So, I'm just going to start off by saying I really enjoyed both of these films. I think they're amazing. And kind of based on what Joe was saying, they're both so different. It's like comparing apples and oranges. And, you know, now that I hear you guys talking, I really understand where you're coming from as filmmakers, why La La Land is so special to you guys, because you guys pick up on all the stuff with the shots and cinematography.
And also the whole theme about chasing your dreams and all that was very hard hitting for us.
Yeah.
What if you're unable to chase your dreams like Chiron?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that
still
was an
chase-
essential theme
yeah.
about that movie.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I think I gotta go with Moonlight just because this, as someone who's not really into filmmaking or doesn't do it, just as someone normal watching both of these movies, Moonlight really made me feel different emotions, and it was just special to me because, I don't know, I was just really moving, and I don't want to say inspiring, but just kind of shocking and kind of jaw-dropping almost, where with La La Land you're kind of like, oh yeah, this is a nice movie, cool music.
I disagree with that, but continue.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, Cam, I definitely agree, like, how it is comparing apples and oranges. Like, after hearing everyone else's opinion, I'm definitely, like, rethinking, because
They're very different
they're
movies.
they're so different to me, and I love the soundtrack in La La Land, and I love how both movies look, and I like the stories of both the movies. I feel like just comparing both stories are two different things.
Oh, I'll also give Moonlight this. The script is far superior. The script is ridiculous in Moonlight. That's like screenwriting heaven right there.
I just kind of feel like, not to start a whole big thing, to be honest, plot-wise, I felt like La La Land didn't do as much compared
What's
to
the
Moonlight.
plot in Moonlight?
Yeah, what's
It's a kid growing up in a
Lawrence,
really
a
tough
couple,
life. How he's trying.
chasing dreams
what's-
and falling in love. That's just,
where's the climax? Where's the resolution? There's
both of them were
Yeah.
light
Yeah.
on plot, buddy. Moonlight's a character study, not a plot-driven movie, buddy.
Bit.
But I love them both for their own reasons. All right, let's go on to our recommendations
Ooh,
for next
man.
week. So let's rewind to episode 2. I gave them a choice. Well, I'm giving the other option for this week. I say we go on Netflix and watch Donnie Darko. A great thinking piece, I'll say. I very much enjoy that movie. And is anyone recommending an album this week, or are we going quiet?
Does anyone want to? I think. What do you guys want to talk about? Would that be something you guys want to talk? Or T, you want?
I can recommend an album if you want a good
do you-
album.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, do it.
So the album for this week is Our Love to Admire by Interpol. It's a great album. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
You know, it's the last one with Carlos Dangler, who was their bassist who
Yeah,
left the band.
Carlos.
And it's fantastic musically, vocally. It's great. Like one of my favorite albums of all time.
Dope.
Okay.
All right. Now we do got a special guest next week. It's a big deal. I'm gonna give you the hint right here. Best memes in Downingtown West. Best memes in Downingtown West. Let that sink in.
That's very debatable.
Oh, it's not. This man's got the best memes in Downingtown West. He'll be here on the podcast next week. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the podcast this week. It's been a good time. Don't forget to ask some Q&A questions in the comments.
Yes, please.
I'll maybe drop a Snapchat story, things that I absolutely despise, about this Q&A, and we'll see you next time. Damn, cuz.